Hello students, welcome to today's lecture. So in this lecture we are going to see about advanced message queuing protocol, that is AMQP. So it is an open standard application layer protocol for message oriented middleware. So it mandates the behavior of the messaging provider and client to that extent that implements from different vendors that are interoperable like SMTP, HTTP, FTP, that is file transfer protocol. SMTP is a simple mail transfer protocol and HTTP is a hypertext transfer protocol. So we are going to see in detail. So it is an advanced message queuing protocol, and also it has an open standard for passing business messages between the applications or organization. So it is a open standard protocol for transferring the data from applications to the any organizations. So it connects the systems. Okay, it connects the systems and the business process. So it is a binary application layer protocol. So it is a basic unit is a frame data. Basic unit of data is a frame, and it follows the ISO standard. So IEC 19464. So advanced message queuing protocol is a open source published standard for asynchronous messaging by wire. So it is an asynchronous messaging by through wire. So AMQP enables encrypted and interoperable messages between organization and its applications. So the protocol which is used in client server messaging and in IoT device management. So it comprises an efficient wire protocol which separates the network transport from broker architectures and management. So AMQP version which supports the broker architecture that may be used to receive, queue, route and deliver the messages. Okay. So there are three major pieces which is specified in the scope of AMQP. So it defines the networking protocol, a representation for message envelope data, and the basic semantics of brokers services. So in accordance with that open standard, that is ISO 19464. So this AMQP protocol which follows the different layers, that is a transport TCP/IP, and then message protocol and type system, and message broker, and then API mappings, routing between brokers, and also management. So these are all the following protocols based on that ISO standards. So these are all the context which follows, which the AMQP follows. So it is a peer-to-peer protocol, which is one peer is playing the role of client application and another peer is playing the role of a trusted message routing and delivery service or broker. So it how to connect the services, which including a method for failing over connections to alternative services. So a mechanisms to enable peers to discover one another's capability. So it addresses the source of messages with the network peer and also to specify which messages are of interest. So a way of processing batches of messages with a transaction. So this is a low level network protocol which is comprehensive and capable, but it is normally invisible to the users of messaging software. So these are all the important features of AMQP. Okay. So another thing is that security. So these are features: security, reliability, interoperability, routing, queuing, and open standard. So as already discussed, it is a open standard protocol. So it has addition to that, it has some of the special functionality. So in interoperability, so multiple state and interoperating broker implementations with completely independent provenance, including a design, architecture, code and ownership. So each broker implementation is conformed with that specification for all mandatory message and queuing functionality. So implementations are independently testable and verifiable by any member of the public free of charge. So the layered architecture and then features and network transports which can be independently extended by separated communities of use enabling business integration with the other system without the coordination with the AMQP working group. So and then security. So the transfer of data which is more secured, so it is a safety one. Okay, so in this processing AMQP protocol, so infrastructure for a secure and trusted global transaction network. So it consisting of business messages that are tamper proof and support messages durability, which is independent of receivers being connected. So and also the message delivery is resilient to any technical failure. So it supports business requirements to transport business transactions of any financial value. So the sender and receiver are mutually agreed upon counterparties. There is no possibility of injection of spam. So and then reliable. So open internet protocol standard which supports a reliable connection. Okay. So and also the binary wire protocol that can be ubiquitous. Okay, ubiquitous. So on this binary wire protocol, it can be ubiquitous, fast, embedded, enabling management to be provided by encapsulating the systems. So and is also scalability. Okay, so scalable so that it can be a basis for high performance fault toleration, lossless messaging infrastructure. So the global addressing standardizing end-to-end delivery across any network. So and then routing. So it can route to the data transfer with the help of network protocols. So and then queuing. So it actually sends the messages. So in terms of routing, so routing the every message has been routed through the network with the help of this protocol. So it is a open internet protocol standard which supports the use, implementation and extension. So clear and code functionality for business message routing and delivery within the internet infrastructure, so that the business messaging is provided by infrastructure and not by integration experts. So it is a low barrier to understand and use and implement. So basically cost wise also it is very supportive. So well stated messages, message queuing. Okay, so and delivery semantics covering at most, at least and at once, and also once and only once. So well stated messages ordering schematics describing what a sender can expect or a receiver to observe and a queue manager to observe. So well stated reliable failure semantics, so all exceptions can be managed. So these are all the features of AMQP protocol. So at this message delivery guarantee, so it at most, so AMQP is a binary application layer protocol designed for efficiently support a wide variety of messaging applications and communication pattern. So it provides flow controlled message oriented communication with message delivery guarantees. So these are all the message delivery guarantees: at most, at least once, and then exactly once. So here the each message, okay, so where each message is delivery only once or never. So this is at most one case. So next one at least once is each message is certain to be delivered, but it can be do for a multiple times. So where each message certain to be delivered with a multiple times, and exactly once. So exactly once where the messages will certainly arrive and also do only once. So this is a exactly only once the message has to be transferred. So the AMQP specification is defined in several layers, like type systems, asymmetric or asynchronous protocol for the transfer of messages from one process to another, and also a standard extensible message format, and also a set of standardized but extensible messaging capabilities. So these are all the message delivery guarantees by AMQP. So next, coming to the frame types. So now there are 9 frame types which are used to initiate, control and tear down the transfer of messages between the two peers. So these are all the 9 frame types: open, begin, attach, and then a transfer, flow, disposition, detach, end and close. So the these open determines the frame, determines the connection open. Okay, so it, in order to make the connection must be in a open state. So the begin, the session begin, so particular session has to be begin. So and then attach the link. The link protocol is the heart of AMQP. So the link is a heart of AMQP, and attach frame is sent to initiate a new link. Okay, so attach and detach is to tear down a link. So the opposite of attach is detach. So the links may be established in order to receive or send messages. So messages are sent over an established link. Okay, the message is transferred only through a established link using the transfer frame. Okay, so the transfer frame is for sending the actual messages. And then flow. So these transfers are subjected to a credit based flow control scheme. Okay, so the message on a link flow is only one direction. Messages on a link, so the link will be on only one direction. So the transfers are subjected to a credit based flow control scheme, so which is managed by flow. Okay, so it controls the message flow rate. So and also this allows the processor to protect itself from being overwhelmed by too large of volume. Okay, so the mass of volume is being controlled, okay, by this flow frame type. So and also the settlement for a transfer or a set of transfer which are communicated between the peers. Okay, so which is so transfers which are subjected to a credit based flow control scheme managed by flow frames. So it controls the message flow rate. So it controls the message flow rate. So this allows the process to protect itself from the being overwhelmed by too large of volumes. So too large volumes of messages. So or more simply to allow a subscribing link to the full messages as and when desired. So this is one of the function of flow frame type. So next each transfer message, okay, so each transfer message must eventually be settled. Okay, so settlement ensures that the sender and receiver agreed on the state of transfer and also providing reliable guarantees. So change in state and settlement for a transfer which are communicated between the peers using the disposition. So in terms of any changes, so it informs the change in the state of transfer. So it is using disposition frame. So various reliability guarantees which can be enforced this way. Okay, so at most once, at least once, and exactly once. So it this is the message delivery times which is informs the changes in the state of transfer by disposition frame. Okay, so multiple links in both directions which can be grouped together in session. So multiple links can be grouped. Okay, the session is a bidirectional sequential conversion between the two peers. Okay, so that is initiated with a begin frame and ended with a terminate frame. A session is a bidirectional sequential conversation between the two frames which is initiated with a begin frame and terminated with a end frame. So a connection between two peers having multiple sessions which is multiplexed over and also each logically independent. The connections which are initiated with an open frame in which sending peers capabilities are expressed and terminated with a closed frame. So this is 9 frames types. So open, begin, attached, transfer, flow, disposition, detach, end, and close. So next coming into picture is the AMQP components. So what are all the components in AMQP? So the exchange, queue, and bindings. So these are all the 3 components. So exchange is a part of a broker. So and it receives messages and routes them into the queue. So and then queue which separates have separate queues for separate business process. So the messages has to be wait for the processing. The consumers receive messages from the queue. So bindings which is rules for distributing messages. So who can access what type of message and what is the destination of the message. So this is done by bindings. So this is a data flow in AMQP. So it has a client and it has a server and the another clients. So it is an application which produces the message, and this part, so here the server which transfers it acts as a broker. Okay, so it exchange, routes and filter messages and then stores the messages in forms of queue. So the consumer messages, so it is the producer P for producer and C for consumer. So here based on the applications, the producers will forward the messages to the consumers with the help of queue. So here the server which acts as a broker, so intermediate between the producers and the consumers. So here the messages will be exchanged. Okay, so and it has been filtered. So with the help of these column, and also the filtered messages which are stored in the queue. So first come first serve. So here the first message will be delivered to the consumer at first time, at first end. Okay, so first in first out. So firstly it also acts the another message within the queue. So this is how the data flow takes place in AMQP. So and then AMQP exchange. So here these are all the 4 types of exchanges which is for AMQP. One is direct, another one is fan out, and then topic, and then header. So these AMQP exchanges, so the AMQP exchanges are direct, fan out, topic, and header. So the exchanges are AMQP. So it are the entities where messages are sent. So exchanges takes a message and route it into 0 or more queues. The routing algorithm used depend on the exchange type and rules which are called bindings. So the AMQP brokers provide 4 exchange types. So already discussed: direct, fan out, topic, and headers. Here in addition to that exchange type, exchanges are declared within the number of attributes. So the most important of which is name, another one is durability. So where exchange survive, broker restart, and also auto delete. So exchange is deleted when the last queue is unbound from it. So and also arguments, which is optional, used by the plugins and broker specific features. So exchanges can be durable and transients. So durable exchanges survive broker restart, whereas transient exchanges do not. Okay, so they have to be re-declared when broker comes back online. Okay, so this is the difference between durable exchange and transient exchange. So the default exchange is a direct exchange. Okay, so with no name, or it is a pre-declared by the broker. So it has one special property that makes it very useful for simple applications. So every queue that is created is automatically bounded with the routing key, so which is same as the queue name. So for example, when you are declaring a queue with the name of search indexing online, the AMQP broker will bind it to the default exchange using search indexing online. So it is the routing key. It is the same as the declared name. Okay. So in this context, sometimes referred to as the binding key. So therefore, a message which is published to the default exchange with the routing key search indexing online will be routed to the queue search indexing online. So the names are same. So in other words, the default exchange, which makes it seems like it is possible to deliver the messages directly to the queues, even though that is not technically what is happening. So this is a default exchange. So direct exchange which delivers messages to the queue based on the message routing key. So direct exchange is ideal for the unicast routing of messages. So by using this type of work. So one is that a queue binds to the exchange with the routing key K, and also when a new message with routing key R arrives at the direct exchange, the exchange routes it to the queue if K is equal to R. Okay. So the direct exchanges are often used to distribute tasks between the multiple workers in a round robin manner. So when doing so, it is important to understand that AMQP messages are load balanced. So in order to make the load as a balanced one, so it uses the round robin manner. So between the consumers and not between the queues. Okay. So fan out exchange is it routes messages to all of the queues that are bound to it. So and the routing key is ignored. Here that the routing key is ignored. So in n number of queues which are bound to a fan out exchange, when a new message is published to that exchange, a copy of the message is delivered to all n queues. So fan out exchanges are ideally for the broadcast routing of messages. So because fan out exchange delivers a copy of message to every queue bound to it. So like massively multiplayer online MMO games, which can use it to for leaderboard updates and other global events. So and sports news sites, which can use fan out exchange for distributing score updates to clients in near real time. So and also distributed systems, which can broadcast various state and configuration updates. The group chats, which can distribute messages between participants using a fan out exchange. So this is important features of this fan out exchange. So topic exchange is the topic exchange which routes messages to one or many queues based on a matching between a message routing key and also the pattern that was used to bind a queue to an exchange. So the topic exchange is the topic exchange is often used to implement various public subscriber pattern variations. So topic exchanges are commonly used for multicast routing of messages. So here the topic exchange has a very broad set of use cases. So whenever a problem involves multiple consumers and applications that selectively choose which type of messages they want to receive, the use of topic exchange should be considered. Okay, so for examples, the distributing data relevant to specific geographic location. So that is point of sale. So and also the background task processing done by multiple workers. So each capable of handling specific set of tasks. So and also stock price updates. So and updates on other kind of financial data. So news updates that involve categorization or tagging. So for example, only a particular sport or a team. And then orchestration of services of different clients in the cloud. So distributed architecture or OS specific softwares or packaging where each builder can handle only one architecture or OS. So next one is that header exchange. So header exchange, it is designed for routing on multiple attributes that are more easily expressed as message headers than a routing key. So header exchanges ignore the routing key attribute. So instead the attributes used for routing which are taken from the headers attribute. So a message is considered matching if the value of the header equals the value of the specified upon bounding. So it is possible to bind a queue to a headers exchange using more than one header for matching. In this case, the broker needs one more piece of information from the application developer. Namely, it should consider messages with any of the headers matching. Okay. So this is a header exchange which can be looked upon direct exchange on steroids because they route based on their header values. They can be used as direct exchange where the routing key does not have to be string. So this is what headers type. Okay, headers exchange type. So and then we are going to see about the advantages. So advantages, these are all the advantages of AMQP. So it targeted QoS quality of service and its persistence, that is a message delivery guarantees. So it delivers delivery of messages to multiple consumers with message delivering qualities. So quality of service, persistence, that is message delivering guarantees, and also delivery of messages to multiple consumers. So based on the different headers. Okay, so possibility of ensuring multiple consumption. So it also ensures that the multiple consumption takes place and also possibility of preventing multiple consumption in some cases. So and also it is a high speed protocol. So this makes the AMQP protocol to be used as a more advantage one. So it is fast, flexible and cost effective protocol. So it is a specific protocol which is used for specific purpose. So and also cost effective. Okay.